This is Adam and the Analog, episode 60. This week, Corey and Harrison are catching up on new and upcoming games from 2025. Hello and welcome to Adam and the Analog, episode 60. We're the only board gaming podcast to ever record during a tornado.
That's probably true. Hey, I'm Harrison Dunn, and there's not a tornado right now in my backyard, but there might have been about an hour ago.
Yeah, you didn't notice?
Oh boy, yeah, that weather, huh?
Yeah, you know, all that stuff I was supposed to say in the intro, I forgot to say my name. It's Corey.
Oh, hi, Corey.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about this week because we haven't had...
Well, aren't you gonna introduce our guest?
No, we don't have a guest, Harrison.
Oh, we don't?
Yeah, I know, it's been some time. So we've had a guest for the last 3 weeks, and it's been great. We've talked about some awesome things, great games, upcoming releases, etc., etc. But, you know, we really got to get caught up. Harrison's been so patient after going to Origins in, the beginning of July or the end of June? Whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Long time ago.
It's been a while.
He's brimming with content to share about what he played there, and we haven't even touched on that yet. So Harrison, it's time. It's time to unleash. This is going to be an hour and a half long episode. Prepare yourselves.
And it's all talking about Ruins from All Play.
Oh yeah, you're excited?
We got some John D. Clare love in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not talking for an hour and a half about Ruins, but I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not even going to do a first player rule. I'm just going to jump right into it. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah,
I get to share first.
Start us off.
Yeah, so there were a handful of games that I wanted to check out at Origins this year. Games that were for sale. I exclusively pursue those just because I don't have time to sit down for a demo generally. So Ruins was the first one that I picked up, and this is a card shedding game from All Play, so a small box ordeal, and it is designed by John D. Clare and uses the card crafting system that he is known for using. That's where the game doesn't actually have cards. It just comes with sleeves and a bunch of plastic pieces, and then you put them together, and that makes the card. It still has cards, right?
Like transparent cards, basically, right?
Yes, yeah. The cards are double-sided, and then they have transparencies you can layer over them.
Mm-hmm.
So the premise of this guy is a card shedding game. You're going to get a hand of 10 cards, and your goal is to empty your hand before everyone else. Unlike some games like this, the game keeps going once someone runs out until everyone but one player runs out, because the order that you go out matters. But the way that you're doing this is you are playing sets of numbers. It's not like runs or sequences or anything like that. It is just the same value number, and then the thing that you have to match and follow is the number of cards played. So if I play 2 3s, then the next player in turn order has to play that same number of cards, so 2 cards of the same or higher value. So Corey, you could play 2 4s or 2 5s, or because the game allows this, something like 2 20s. So the standard deck goes, I think it's 1 to 9 or 1 to 10. But then you can add these modifiers in there, and you do that as you play the card. So the card might not match in your hand, but then you can spend this renewable resource to put modifiers on the cards and change the values and their properties on the fly. And then the cool thing is, when the round's over, all those cards get shuffled back and dealt back out to players, retaining their changes. So your play group kind of sculpts the deck to your play style as you're playing, which is just a super cool hook. So that being said, I love it. It's a lot of fun. We played it a couple times at Origins. I played it a couple times since. It's a very weird game to teach. The first time or two you play it, it's either gonna click with you, or you're not gonna get it at all. So that's not a point in its favor, but it's such a weird, cool game idea. Definitely worth checking out, especially for the All Play price point, which I think it was like $20 or something. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, that's insanely cheap, and it must come with sleeves, right? Because
it comes with sleeves. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it looks like $20. Yeah.
Do you have it then? You bought it?
I did buy it. Yep. All 3 games that I'm going to talk about today are ones that I've purchased.
Oh, you got them in your grubby little paws, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like all 3 of these will be available at Gen Con as well, and are maybe even doing more marketing at Gen Con or even declaring themselves Gen Con releases, but they were available at Origins.
I have to say,
Um,
love the art on Ruins. It looks like a Steam game of some sort. And your description of the card play sounds like right up my alley. I am intrigued to say
I
the
didn't
least.
even tell you that one of the card powers. So you can modify the values, but you can also give the cards powers. And
Oh
one
yeah.
of the powers is to make the card count as more than one card.
Okay.
So you can just I can have a six in my hand, but it's got that icon on it twice, and it counts as three sixes. So
Oh,
it's a
nice.
beast all on its own.
Yeah. So is there a limit to how many transparencies you can jam in the sleeves?
Yes. So the player the powers come in three colors in a cyan, magenta, and yellow,
Okay.
and a card can only have one of each color. And then you can put a fourth one on top of it. Each player has like two claim cards that basically uh, put a little border around the number, declaring it as yours. So in a future round, if that card is dealt out in the opening hand, players just have to give it to you. So you can use that
Oh,
to like claim clutch cards, but you can only do it twice a game. Uh,
that's really
but
clever.
yeah, but they don't draw a replacement. So by claiming a card, you are potentially giving yourself 11 cards for the start of the round and giving someone else 9. Um,
Nice.
so it feels balanced. We'll see how it actually plays out long term.
Yeah. John Declare, what a guy. I mean, he's all about these like clever ideas. Every game he has this kind of this hook that you never would have thought of before. And I know this is kind of iterating on themes from other games that he's designed, but he's the only guy doing this transparency thing as far as I know.
There's a couple other out there, right? Like
Oh yeah,
Canvas.
I can't. Yeah, Canvas.
Yeah, that's not a John Declare one. Um,
But that's not a deck builder in the sense that like I know this is kind of more a communal deck builder, but I'm thinking of what's the one? Mystic Veil is a deck builder,
mhm,
and that's
yeah,
kind of the concept here is you're upgrading your cards in a way that you could only ever do on a computer until now there's like this cool idea where you can do it in paper
right. Yep.
or
Yeah.
plastic.
So it's been a blast. Definitely would recommend to anyone who's even remotely interested. Like All Play does, they sell upgrade components for it, and I did spring for the these like fireside or campfire chips. So those are the resources you use to buy upgrades. I
Mm,
bought the poker chip version of them instead of the cardboard ones, but I'm sure the cardboard ones are fine too. So
nice.
yeah, that's the first game I want to talk about from Origins. That is Ruins, and just for reference, looking at the Gen Con hot list right now, it is rank 2 in terms of thumbs. So people are going
Yeah.
to be talking about it. It's if this is the first place you heard about it, then boy, don't I feel special.
I'm just give me one sec. I need to pre-order ruins.com. Okay. Yeah, $20. Good deal. Cool. All right. Well, my first game is also a yet to be released game because it is a preview game that we have received in the mail. And it's a game in the sense that it is a game, but it's
Oh
really a
boy,
notebook.
Corey.
I know I didn't. I walked myself into a corner there, but it's literally just a notebook. It's called Pencil Book Quest. It was designed by a guy named David, and published by Grumpy Spider Games, and it will be put up on Kickstarter in September. And it's a solo game, and it's really clever. I really like it. It is 80 quests, all kind of combined together into one large campaign that are designed to be played like 5 minutes at a time. And all you need for the game is the notebook. There's a bookmark that tracks your ongoing health and money and other resources that you get throughout the quest. And then there's a pencil, and the pencil actually functions as the die too, because it's like a I don't know, it's got six sides. What do you call that shape?
Hexagonal, we call that.
Hexagonal, thank you. Oh my god. And yeah, so you roll it, and then whatever side is face up has a certain number of pips on it, and that tells you, your result of your roll. So yeah, it's cool. I mean, the concept here is that you are moving. It's a roll and write more or less, but the die only comes into play when you're rolling. I've only seen it when I open a chest so far, because all of the other concepts of the game are pretty like kind of set in stone. You move 4 spaces in any direction each turn until you hit an obstacle or interact with a monster. And the combat in this game, yes, there's combat, is on one of the two pages that's open to you when you open the book. There are the three different monsters in each location, and you start by putting the tip of your pencil next to their name. There's a starting point target. And then you, without looking, you lift the pencil and drop it down on this little dartboard kind of thing. And wherever you land in that dartboard tells you how much damage you sustain from the monster. And they're basically automatically defeated each time. But
Hmm.
the middle ring, like a bullseye, is 0 damage. On top of that, there's like little shaded sections in each of those rings that activate their abilities. So, for example, I'm looking at the Harpy, which is a common enemy you fight a lot in the early missions. No spoilers here. It has swipe. If you hit swipe, which is like a 50% chance in like the second ring and maybe a 30% chance in the third ring, it will take the key that you need to open the chest away. So stuff like that.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah. And so you're going through, you're completing you're fighting these monsters, you're trying to get out of the area and in a certain number, like trying to limit the amount of moves it takes to do that. Collecting money, pushing it so that you can escape before you die, because when you die, you lose all your money. And then all of that stuff carries on to the next quest. You'll reach towns even, which is the really cool thing. You'll open up to a page, you'll see a town, and that allows you to write that town into the main map on the first page of the quest. And you can go back and visit that town at any time. They have different decisions on which quest to go to from there, but you can shop when you're there. And then each town, this is my favorite part, has a mini game that you can pay your gold to play. And so one of the mini games is like a little racetrack that says start and finish. And you put your pencil down on the start and finish line. And then without looking, you try to trace the track and stay within the lines. And if you do it, you get a benefit. So it's a bunch of stuff like that. All these clever little games. And he's really done a lot with the concept of just a pencil and trying to kind of write without looking, which is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I've been struggling.
Wonder if any of my art skills from way back when would translate to that.
Yeah, it's definitely not like it doesn't benefit any creativity or like drawing skill as much as it's just kind of like hand-eye coordination. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think yeah.
there's
Y-
an old art class exercise which is to draw something without looking at what you're drawing.
uh-huh.
So that is something that I did a lot when I was in art classes for art school.
Yeah. I think you'd like this, Harrison. There
Yeah.
is a demo. Yeah, so if you go over to the Kickstarter page, there's a big giant link on it. And again, it hasn't been launched yet. So you're just looking at the kind of pre-launch page. But the big giant link says download the tutorial. And when you do, you can print out like a kind of a one-page example of one of the 80 missions in the book. And so that gives you a good gist of what you're up against here with this one. If this
Hmm.
sounds at all interesting to you, please do that, because something I haven't seen before, and it's really it's been executed very cleverly and in a really kind of, I don't know if I want to say cute way, but it's fun. It's this nice little activity you can do that takes 5 or 10 minutes tops to do, and then just put it back in your pocket, do it again later.
Yeah, yeah. I would say I'm printing it right now, but I don't want to start firing the printer when I'm when I'm recording.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, we'll throw that link for the Kickstarter page in the episode description, so you can go check it out. The way that you're describing and the way that this looks makes me think of like the classic Link's Adventure, original Zelda game.
Yes.
Uh, but then also like people had to make their own maps for that, right? So it's kind of like coming back full circle because
Yeah.
you've got the maps now, and you got to draw on them with a pencil to play it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've never
But
played the
yeah,
Link's Adventure game, but it definitely has the vibe of an old retro top-down RPG kind of game. Yep. So that is Pencil Book Quest from Grumpy Spider Games.
I wonder if we could get him to rename it to Pencil Book Adventure.
Why?
I don't know, Link's the Adventure of Link's
Oh,
Adventure.
okay.
Yeah, no. Cool. That sounds super cool. So the next game that I wanted to shout out. This is the one I was most excited. No, I was excited for both of these equally. Ruins and my second game, How to Save a World, from Burnt Island Games. Now, if the name Burnt Island Games sounds familiar, that
Yeah.
might be because if you're in the board game news scene, you know that Deep Sea Endeavor just won the Kennerspiel Award, and Burnt Island Games is the developer behind Deep Sea Endeavor. So it was a joint effort between Grand Gamers Guild and Burnt Island Games. And so
Yeah.
this is one that,
Endeavor Deep Sea. but same
Oh
difference.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I said Deep Sea Endeavor. Endeavor Deep Sea. So this is one that is done just by Burnt Island. This is kind of one of their solo outings. And so this is a heavy, complex workers placement style game about a planet. Humanity has discovered a planet that the first planet to have intelligent life on it, or sustainable life, breathable oxygen, etc. Except there's a giant asteroid coming towards this world and it's going to destroy it. So the game is about trying to fulfill and execute one of three different plans to kind of save it. First plan is to build a giant laser to shoot it out of the sky. Second plan is to build a shield generator on the moon to shield the planet. And the third plan, which is the fallback, is to evacuate most of the life to some other colony or the moon or something. But the way this plays out is it's worker placement, and you can take actions on the planet or on the moon. And when you do one of those, your worker, your little shuttle lander, is going to get put on the opposite location based on the action you take. So the more powerful actions mean that you'll have to next round put that worker on a different space, and then you have to like pay some premium to get between the two spaces. So there's this extra planning ahead to make sure that your characters, your workers are in the right location for the right actions, which is a really cool layer. It has tons and tons of tracks. You've got like 5 different resource tracks. You've got 3 main progress tracks for the 3 different plans, and a bunch of cards that can do different powers and abilities. Um, but the real crazy hook here, then, and I haven't even gotten to the best part, as you are investing in these different plans, in the laser, the shield, or the evacuation, you're putting cubes into a bag. And then at the end of each round, you draw cubes from that bag based on like how close the meteor is. And those are the plans that actually get worked on and get closer to being fulfilled. Um, so there's like this, you can have everyone kind of working on everything. Maybe people are kind of putting more effort into the laser, but the shield might still be the thing that ends up saving. And then the player who is the furthest on the track that actually saves the world is going to score more points. So there's like a bunch of these juggling pieces, and it's kind of a heavy teach. But like Revive in a lot of ways, once everything kind of clicks into focus, it just sings. And I absolutely love this game. It is super cool, and the graphic design is very bright and colorful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it looks great. So it's like a governmental bureaucracy simulator. Like some of your stuff gets acted on, and the rest of it just stays in the bag.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel that way. Uh, right? It's more of like we're all working towards these plans, and the bag drawing kind of reflects on which one is most effective.
Yeah.
Um, and then like once one of the end game triggers happens, you do a giant draw from the bag to see what actually does it. And if the you fire the laser, and if the laser track doesn't fill up with that, then you fall back to the shield plan, and you take, if the laser track was far enough, it might have like chipped the meteor, making the shield more likely to succeed.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then you pull for the shield track, and if that doesn't work, then you default to the evacuation. But it's yeah, super
That's
cool,
cool.
highly worth checking out.
This
Um,
does remind me of Endeavor in its appearance and your description, all these tracks, and there's just iconography galore. Which I really liked Endeavor, so I'm interested to try this.
yeah, this was a lot of fun. I would definitely put it on the list so I can teach you next time.
Sweet. Let's do it.
So that is How to Save a World from Burnt Island Games. And from talking to the team there, it sounds like they will have finished fulfilling their Kickstarter, so they might have deluxe versions available at Gen Con. I'm hoping that they at least have the deluxe upgrade kit, because I did not know that existed, and I want to upgrade this game. Plus, the upgrade kit has double layered boards, and I think you need it. It's not quite as bad as like Terraforming Mars, but things can easily get knocked around.
Yeah, I'm looking at the individual player boards, and it's just tracks all over and little
Yep,
bits hanging on them. And yep,
it's great. It's great.
yeah. I hope you don't have a cat.
Yep. Oh no, yeah, not How to Save a World, not with a cat.
Right, right. All right, cool. So my second game is Citizens of the Spark, which is releasing this year in retail, or is it already,
What?
Harrison?
What? What? No, August.
August. Okay.
August 5th, I think.
Okay, but I'm special and I already have one because I kickstarted it, and I'm happy to have done so. This is a Thunderworks game, and it is designed by Philip DeBerry, who we had on the podcast, and your boy Harrison had a little hand in it too. So
Yep, yep,
congratulations, Harrison! Nice
yep.
job.
Full disclosure, I was the developer on this, so I worked on it quite a bit.
Yeah, but I get to talk about it, and I was not involved in it, so I can be completely impartial to the project. I'm a consumer. Anyways, let me do my best to kind of describe this one. I know we've talked about it before, so I'll keep it brief. And like I said, we had Philip DeBerry on the podcast, but it's been a while, and this game is kind of unique. I don't think there's again a lot like it. It is a drafting game, and it is a modular drafting game, and that is one of my favorite things to hear because I love me some Ethnos. I love Dominion, and this game has the same kind of flavor of sort of mixing up different elements of the gaming concepts as far as like interaction and point scoring and defense and trading and things like that, and creating a new environment each time you play. So there's what 30 different species in the game, or 30 different characters.
Yep, 30 citizens.
Citizens, thank you. That was so easy. I don't know how I missed it. Citizens of the Spark. Um, and each time you play, you're shuffling up a set of them. Is it 7 for a one player game or two player game?
It's based on, yeah, based on the player count, so it's between 7 or 10.
Yeah. So the idea here is that you're placing rows of 2 of each of these guys out on the table, or it could be 3 depending on the player count. And on your turn, you're drafting an entire row of cards and adding them to your tableau. You stack all of the similar citizens on top of one another, effectively just increasing the power of that citizen stack. And then after doing so, you have the option of then activating one of the citizens by placing it up on top of your tableau and activating its ability. So the hook here is that the larger stacks do more damage. They do more stuff. And so you have to decide if you want to like fire off some early points or fire off some early abilities, or you want to wait until it's really powered up to 3. Most of them, I think all of them max out at 3. When you do that, you do the ability, and then everyone else around the table has the opportunity to activate a follow ability by discarding one of their similar citizens. And these abilities are things like swapping citizens from your setup with the assembly, which is kind of the drafting area, or scoring based on the number of tags of a certain type you have. Or there are even offensive ones to, attack your opponents in ways that I say attack, and that scares some people, but I don't think they're terribly damning, and I don't think they would really irritate someone to the extent of like blood rage combat, but more subtle interactions, I should say. And help me out, Harrison, if I'm missing something. You know this game much better than I do.
No, you're doing a fine job. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. And so in the solo mode, you're dealing with what's called Scintilla, and where did that name come from?
Keith made it up. I don't know.
Oh, it's cool. I like it. And Scintilla is just a deck of cards that you flip over and basically determines what the bot is going to draft and what the bot's going to activate. And you can also follow those just like you would another player. I was impressed that in the solo mode, all of the elements of the game were all represented in there. Like the interaction still happens, even though you're playing against an automa. And the setup to do so was like really breezy. Like you basically just set up the game like you would for 2 players, shuffle your stack of Scintilla cards, your Automa cards, and then you fire away. And they're easy to follow. They don't require a lot of thinking, which I like with my Automa. And you still get the full experience of the game, or at least a different version of it. So that was fun. I've really enjoyed it. As I said, my plays have been very different. One of them I won by a landslide. I just destroyed the bot, and it was really fun to do so. I don't mind that at all. I like just winning games, especially when it's not at the expense of another human. And then today I played and I lost by like 10 points. It was much closer. But the points, the total points that won each of those games was like 200 points away, and it was really dependent on the setup. And I think you're going to get that with Citizens of the Spark, depending on which type of arrangement you create with the different citizens you include in your stack. You have some games that most of the cards don't score you points, and a lot of them are just kind of reserved for end game scoring, like the interactive version that I played today. Or yesterday I did one where it was like every time I played, I was cranking up like 20, 30 points with some of my combos in the mid to late game. It's been fun, Harrison. I really liked it. The art is really cool. If you're interested in this sort of fantasy I don't know if it's like almost like post-apocalyptic euphoria kind of thing going on here. I don't know. They're all these anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah. I think someone described the art style, the setting as solar punk.
Yes, there you go.
I think
I can see it.
that's like the closest approximation. And solar punk is kind of it's sometimes like futuristic steampunk, but also Star Trek, I think, is solar punk, like very close to it. I'm probably getting that wrong, but it's like the more optimistic, cheery outlook on future and technology.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like the outfits, the garb that these animals are wearing remind me of like the Fifth Element or something. They're kind of this sort of unique, futuristic sci-fi thing. But the color palettes and all of the ski, the the art style, it is optimistic. That's a great way to put it. It's not like a dour environment that you're living in. So yeah, really cool place to explore and a fun game to dig into. I even have the transmission packs, so that adds 3 additional citizens in a box that already contains like a ton. Like I said, 30. So there's lots and lots of combinations to go to.
Yeah, and those 3 extra ones are bonkers.
Yeah, I read them today. They are nuts, and I think they probably increased the cognitive load a little bit. So I was not quite
Yep,
ready for those.
yep. Yeah, I picked out those were originally in the base game or not. No, they were not originally in the base game. They were submitted separately because they were more complex.
Gotcha.
Let me re-say that. Uh, yeah, we had a handful of designs that were more complex than the rest that we were
Mm.
like not sure if we should even put in the game, but making them as like a little supplementary bonus transmission pack, an opt-in thing, is definitely more appropriate. Like they
Yeah.
they have the ability to really break some of the cards in half, which is fun if everyone could do it. But in the base game, it just makes the core experience pretty crazy.
Yep. Yep. I would say my favorite part about the game is the outcasts. There's a card in here that's just bad. It's not good. It doesn't do you anything. It loses you points, and the presence of it in any mix in any set makes you reevaluate the way that other cards are played, such as the trading cards that I've mentioned. Which normally trading is just kind of like upgrading cards that you have that are already beneficial to you, but this is a way to kind of cleverly stick the outcasts, the negative point cards, back in the assembly, or even give them to an opponent in some cases too, which is kind of cool.
Did you encounter the Scintilla card for the outcasts
Which one is that?
called Cast Out?
No.
Okay, brief spoilers. Skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to get spoiled on it. But the Scintilla card for Outcasts is Scintilla gives you all of their Outcasts and then gains
Mm.
points for how each one they give you.
Oh yes, I did. Of course I did because I played it. Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's
And
not guaranteed to come up every time. But yeah, it's pretty mean.
yeah, it was mean, but then in the setup I had, I was able to just like kind of send them back to the bot pretty easily. I ended up with no
Cool.
outcasts at the end of the game. So
Nice.
there is one really mean one in there, Harrison. One that scores points based on the number of fire symbols on all the cards. And I was just chugging along today. I was like, oh, we're at parity. We're like, I'm hanging in there with the bot. And it was the last Scintilla card it drew, and it scored 40 points in one go. And it's like
Yep.
everything else we had done to that point was 3, 3, 3, and then bam, 40.
Yep.
Of course, it was fair because my end game scoring was similar to that, and the bot doesn't get to do so.
You let it go off at max level, didn't you?
I did. I couldn't
Yep.
control it.
Yep.
That was the timing.
Yep.
So, all right. Anyways, we'll move on, but I did want to gush about that one a little bit. Nice job, Harrison. Congrats on the game, and I hope those that are listening check this one out because it is sweet. Citizens of the Spark.
All right. So the third game that I want to talk about that I picked up at Origins is one that I did not plan on getting and did not know it was coming out. The BGG page for it is sparse. It is
Mm.
just a picture of the game, a very brief description, and the publisher. There's no designer credits, no art credits. It's not. It's just it's bare bones, and I don't get it. The day that I bought the game, I went and I played it, and then I put it in my BG Stats app, and there wasn't a BGG page for it to link to. That being said, don't let that scare you off. This isn't some small indie game. This is, well, I mean, it kind of is because that's why we're talking about it. But this is called Double Match, and it is by Marmot Card Games. So this one was like, it was $14 is what I paid for it. It's real cheap. Uh, and this is a deck of cards numbered 1 through 6 and colored red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And it's another card shedding game, but the idea is that there's a grid of 3 by 3 cards in the middle of the table. And on your turn, you can play as many cards as you want from your hand. But every time you play a card, it has to form a match, which is a row or a column of all the same color, all the same number, or in an ascending or descending sequence. And if you can happen to play a card that does 2 matches at once, both in the same row or in a row and column, where they cross, that's a double match, and you get to give another card away to someone. Um,
Hmm.
it doesn't. It's kind of hard to describe unless you're like seeing it in front of you. But like as soon as it's really easy to teach if you can just make an example with the cards. And the game, it's super light, pretty quick, but if you play it with gamers, it can be real thinky. And I played this with 3 other game designers at Origins, and it took us like almost 45 minutes to play a game, which felt really weird. And we were all just kind of like, huh, weird, huh, I don't know if I like this. And then when I got home, I played it with Lauren and some of our other friends who aren't so invested in the board game space. We played it like 4 times in a row. It was just
Oh yeah.
way more fun. If you're playing it with a group that is, not into heavy strategy games or has not been on the show floor for 12 hours, Uh I've played it looking at my BG stats. I've played it 12 times since I got back from Origins already. Like it is just very easy to break out, very quick to teach. Plays great at 2 players too, which Lauren was very pleasantly surprised with. So we just busted this out a couple times to play on some evenings.
Huh.
Uh, so that's Double Match. And about Marmot Card Games. So Marmot Card Games is actually an imprint. It's the same team as Last Night Games, the people who make Panda Royale and the Finest Fish. These two brothers from Utah that I love their stuff, and so they showed me this thing at Origins, and they wanted to make games that are specifically like small box card games that they can get into distribution at like Target or Barnes and Noble or something like that.
Mm.
And this is the first one they're coming out with. And if this is any hint of the things to come, I'm very excited for the next 2 they got coming out. This is just like super cool. Scratches the gamer itch and still keeps it accessible for the masses.
I feel like you're always on the cutting edge of the like card game. The I don't know how to describe these, but the number based kind of abstract card games. Yeah, that's like your domain. You were the first to introduce me to Flip 7, and that was well before all the Flip 7 hype this year. So you were onto something there. I know you're a
I
big
don't
6th
think
fan too.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna hit quite the heights of Flip 7. I could be wrong.
Mm,
I didn't like Double Match the first time I played it as much, but then it was very group dependent.
mhm.
But yeah, it could do very well with broader audiences.
Well, Flip 7 also has the op behind it, and from what I've seen, they are pushing the heck out of it. And then they're
Yes.
like giving this thing away like crazy, and I think that has something to do with the appeal and the spread of it. So yeah.
I will put this out there. I'm like fairly certain that the Last Night Games is going to be at Gen Con. I don't
Mhm.
know why they wouldn't be. I think they said they would be when I talked about Origins, but Double Match is not on the Gen Con preview list for 2025.
What?
So if you're out there, you're planning on Gen Con, you gotta write it down. Use a physical list to
Mm.
keep track of this one. That is Double Match by Marmot Card Games or Last Night Games.
Nice. All right. For my third and final pick, I pulled in Audible, Harrison, because I realized we had this thing going where we were talking about all these new releases, 2025 games. And my third game was a 2022 game. So that's going to have to wait. But because I did play rather recently a 2025 game that is out in retail at this point. So this one's a little older than the others we talked about. But we can't not talk about the new edition of Ethnos, given that it is a mutual favorite game, not the favorite, but I'd say what solidly in the top 25 for both of us. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, no, I love Ethnos. It's good.
All
It's a good
right,
time.
cool. Cool. I don't want to speak for you, but it's an amazing game and you'd be wrong if it wasn't. Just kidding. But yeah, Ethnos is great. And I have the first edition of it, and I'm sure that's what Harrison's played too, just based on when we
Yeah.
talked about it. Have you seen the second edition yet, the Simon?
You mean the one that's got like the Asian mythology themed art?
Yes.
Yep. Yep. It is
Yeah.
gorgeous. It is
Yeah.
beautiful looking.
Yeah, like physical production wise, I don't know that this one's necessarily an improvement from the other one because the other one has, cards, board, plastic bits. It's kind of the same level, but this one does introduce a whole new set of art, and the art is some of the best I've seen in board games. I mean, I really had a lot of fun looking at these cards. That's also one of the criticisms of it. Now, I'll take a step back quick because I need to just briefly describe Ethnos for those that aren't familiar with it. This is a very simple game. It doesn't look like it. It kind of strikes people as an area control kind of dudes on a map fighty game, but really it's more in line with Ticket to Ride, and in a very interactive sense. You are doing area control, like kind of area majority, I should say, in different regions on the map, but you're doing it by playing cards that match either in suit or in their type, and the types are different species. They're different what do you call them? Different creatures, I guess, in this case. Each of those creatures, which is modular, just like I talked about with Citizens of the Spark, you shuffle into the deck and have a different set each time you play, and each of them has an ability. The lead creature, the top of each stack when you play them, gives you that ability, and playing them allows you to place some presence in one of the regions on the map that matches the color of the cards or the color of the lead card. So you play it 3 rounds. Each round, it's like whoever has the most presence in each region scores points based on what's shown on the map. Okay, I won't go too much further than that. If that sounds interesting to you, check it out. You can literally learn this game in like 5 minutes. It's very simple, but very fun and very snappy, very quick. Okay, getting back to the art thing. It's amazing. Yes, the art is really, really cool. They did something weird though. They took the art and they changed it so that each species, each creature isn't the same art for all of the same creatures. I think it's based on
Hmm.
the region it changes. And I've heard people complain about that because it makes it hard to see the similarities in the cards.
Hmm.
And I went in knowing that. I don't think it was as pronounced as I was led to believe it was, because you can't there's a lot of like similarities in the art and the styles of the drawings that kind of connect them. But I can see the confusion for those that aren't as familiar with the game. So that's a thing. But the thing that was a little more egregious to me was they did this. They basically took all the text out of the game, and the original version is just sentences. It tells you what the abilities do. And for this one, there's icons and arrows and equals and different things to basically make it international, which I
Hmm.
appreciate. But it makes the game much clunkier. It's just, like the first version of it, when you just are reading what it does, it's so clear. It's like again 5-minute teach and then you get rolling and there's no issues there. I really wish they would have done that with this one. I do see the appeal to make it global, um, but there's a reason to want the first edition, even though the art on this one is really cool. On top of that, a couple of weird production errors. Have you heard that?
Yep.
There's like missing there's like some sideboards that you score for different creatures, and some of them are
Hmm.
missing icons that like really ought to be there. So stuff like that. So I was a little bit disappointed in those things. As far as like replacing my original copy of Ethnos, I'm not going to do it. I like my original copy, and as we've talked about in the past, the theme is it's this kind of quaint fantasy, very familiar Lord of the Rings esque world, and I'm really happy with that too. So
Yeah.
much as I
Yeah.
enjoyed this, is not going to buy it.
With all the like the production and like rules quibbles and things that I've heard about this game, actually looking at it, and as gorgeous as the art is, I feel like the base original version was just, it felt more thematic in the sense that the character powers felt like they supported the fantasy of the creature or race that it was describing.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the giants cared about having the most strength.
Yeah.
The halflings d- were really weak, but they could, have
Numerous.
uh yeah, they were more plentiful, exactly. The skeletons could go with any army because, they can be mind controlled, but they're brittle and they fall apart by the end of the round.
Mhm.
um yeah, like I just felt like that was a lot easier to tell a story and paint a picture. And I think that's probably missing from this version too.
Yeah. So that said, I think this one's much more available, and that is
Yes.
something to consider. So if you have never played Athnos, this would be a perfectly fine copy to add to your collection. And I would recommend that everybody does it because this is not a game for the combat gamers. Like I said, it kind of looks like that, but this is a game that I've had fun playing with my grandma and my immediate family who are not gamers. So I think that says a lot because their attention span is incredibly short when it comes to board games.
Yeah. I would say like our nitpicks are coming from a place of being passionate people very in the hobby.
Yes.
If you play this with a more broad audience, or your group is not as grumpy as we are sometimes, like the second edition is absolutely worth it. Looking briefly right now, it looks like the cheapest you might be able to find the first edition is like $100, maybe more on the
Mm,
secondary market. So
yeah.
um, yeah, the second edition. Like if you've ever wanted to try this game and you don't know someone that has it, you won't go wrong. You won't be disappointed by the second edition at all.
Wow, I did not realize it was $100 on the secondary market.
Yeah.
You can probably find it on Facebook Marketplace for $20 if you look hard enough, to be honest with you, especially with this new one out. All right, so that is Ethnos second edition, and then is the Simon version of the game.
Well, Corey, our normal format means we only talk about 6 games, and
Mhm.
those 6 games would be Pencil Book Quest, Citizens of the Spark, and Ethnos Second Edition, and mine were Ruins, How to Save a World, and Double Match. But I mean, this isn't really a normal episode. You played anything else that you want to share? Give an honorable mention or a quick shout out, or maybe just save it for next week.
Ooh, well, we bought Harmonies the other day, Harrison. You talked me into it. I've
Yeah.
been I've been singing the praises of that game for a while, and I was like, "Why is this not in my collection?" I feel like anyone I play games with would enjoy Harmonies. So now it is. We solved that problem. That and Marvel Champions, I've been getting back into that. Thank you to some sales at my local shop.
Thank you
Have
to
you
the
played it?
sales at your local shop. No, I have not played the 4 characters you got me. Sorry.
Yeah. Jeez, get
Not
on it,
yet.
man. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
my box is getting too full now, though. I can't fit everything in there. I sleeve all my cards, and I have tons of them right now. So it's like 30 pounds worth of stuff. So it's becoming a problem, but it is my most played game of all time. So I think that that justifies it a little bit. How about you?
I will give a quick shout out to 2 cooperative games. Lauren and I got back into a kick of playing games together in the evenings, since my computer is dead still, or my main computer. No gaming computer makes gamer boy very sad.
Yeah.
But we played and we started playing Dorf Romantic Sakura. So that's like the second chapter in the cooperative Dorf Romantic board games, and this one is Japanese themed. So instead of like forests and villages and gosh, I'm gonna even forget and farms, it is now like cherry blossom trees and villages and rice paddies. Uh, so I was very excited to play a new version of this with like this beautiful art, but the game has been kind of disappointing. It is just a hair more complex as to make it frustrating.
Hmm.
Um, so in Dorf Romantic, they have railroads and rivers, which are act as kind of a restriction on where you can place tiles because they always have to meet another railroad or river. They can't just randomly dead end. And this version, there seems to just be way more of those on the tiles. So if you get a couple of them early, it really restricts your placement.
Mhm.
Um, And then the other half is there's a whole new task type that gets introduced about 2 or 3 games in that ends up diluting the tasks stack quite a bit. So that if you can just get into a weird space where you have some tasks out that just aren't easily fulfilled, and you hit all your sixes at the same time, or you hit the sixes before the fives and fours, and it, it ends up taking away from those really clever moments that you can get with the base game where things just line up nicely and you're able to combo. Um, that being said, there's a lot more content in this version. We played 11 games total of Dwarf Romantic, the base game. We are 13 games into this one, so we don't hate it so much as to stop playing it. um, we're 13 games in this one, and we haven't unlocked everything yet. So there's a significantly more content, and by game like 8, 9, 10, we started unlocking a lot more tools to help me address some of the concerns that I had. But all in all, I still have mixed feelings on it. I would say if you ever want to check out Dwarf Romantic, don't start with Sakura. Start with the base game still. And then if you like that a lot and want a challenge, go for Sakura.
Is there a video game version of Dwarf Romantic that is called Sakura, or is this just a new thing created for the expansion?
I think that's just a new thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the other game that we've been playing, I convinced Lauren to play Slay the Spire cooperative, and she loved it, and we're playing more. So that's been great. She jumped right in with the Watcher, and I played support as the Ironclad, and she ended up carrying us through all 3 acts because she built pure damage.
Yeah. The Watcher is the hardest one to play. That's the meditation one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that one's tough. Nice.
Yep.
Good on her. All right. Well, that takes us to the end. We haven't really had a chance to talk about any of our happenings in the last couple of weeks. So I'm sure there's plenty of video game, TV, book stuff to chat about too. What have you been up to?
Oh, Corey, we watched K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. Have you heard of
Oh,
this
God.
one?
I see it when I turn on Netflix. Yeah. What's it all about?
It is way good. Okay, it is. The
Okay.
premise is a K-pop band, a girl band, 3 singers and dancers, moonlight as demon hunters to save the world from being invaded by demons, and it is 3 like young women, teenager type characters, with just over the top like crazy personalities, very very charismatic, filled with like K-pop songs and music videos that go along with it. Incredible music. It's got a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes right now as of the time of recording. I think it was 97% when I
That's
watched
awesome.
it. Like,
Yeah.
it's being very very well received. And I think it's part of the same Sony Pictures team that made Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the Miles Morales animated ones. The
Yep.
animation is just incredible. It is so cool. Like I was on the fence about it. Lauren was interested in it, and less than 5 minutes after the movie started, I was like, I'm totally invested. This is so much fun.
It's a movie. Okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking of
it's a
the
movie.
show. Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. I will have to check that out. That sounds fun.
and it's family friendly. It is like, yeah, if you have kids and they wanted to watch and they watched Across the Spider Verse, they can absolutely handle this. It's a little bit of like fighty things, but nothing worse than you would see in.
Real life, walking down the street.
I was gonna say Power Rangers, and I don't think that's
Okay.
a relative reference either.
Yeah, it depends where you live, I guess, but around here, no, I'm just kidding. Wait, have you ever heard of the band Baby Metal?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh
Give
my
me
god.
chocolate.
Give me chocolate. Yeah, they were at Summerfest in Milwaukee like 2 weeks ago, and Nikki actually went to the concert. I
Oh
I
man.
was busy with something. I had a field trip actually, but she went to see another band, and they went to check out Baby Metal at the end. I don't think she really knew what she was getting into, but she was like, it was insane. There were people everywhere, and they should have been at like the main stage, which is like a ticketed stage.
Hmm.
And I'm not surprised. I think they're pretty huge, but if you've never heard of Baby Metal, it is the combination of K-pop and like metal, right?
Death metal. Yep.
Death metal. Yeah, it's like three female front women vocalists that are like dancing the whole show and singing these very hooky lines while the band is behind them like chugging these like mathy like distorted guitar riffs and stuff. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
They're actually Japanese though, Corey.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh, I thought okay. I just totally I don't know them very well myself, but thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying.
No, yeah, that's I wanted to put it out there so that we didn't get an email about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to correct me before I correct us, it's adamantlyanalog@gmail.com.
It's too late now.
Yeah, if you've not heard of Baby Metal, go check out the YouTube video for their song "Gimme Chocolate," which came out in 2014. So quite an old song, but it is a wild experience.
That reminds me of the band P-Lander Z, which is also amazing. I don't think they're really around anymore, but that was like a Japanese punk band, and they had this song called "So Many Mike," and it was just a song about how when they come to America, they think there's a lot of people with the name Mike, and they're not wrong. And these guys dress up like superheroes on the stage. They have like spandex costumes and stuff. It's amazing. Anyways, what have I been doing? A lot of things, but we started Baldur's Gate up again, Baldur's Gate 3, and we've talked plenty about Baldur's Gate on this podcast, but I am now playing a 4-stack with my sister and my brother-in-law and Nikki, and
Nice.
I'm a smashy dwarf barbarian guy named O'Doyle from is it Billy Madison where like
Yeah.
it's like
O'Doyle rules.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a tagline, so that was just easy. So, yep, there we go. We've just begun, but I'm sure that we'll make it at least a little while. I don't know if we're gonna get past the first
However
act.
far you get it, you'll have fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. We've played 2-player before, and we made it to the first act, and then I kind of abandoned that campaign. But that game is so long.
Sure
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Cool. Well, another episode in the books, Harrison. This is episode 60. We didn't even celebrate with like 60 games in 60 minutes or anything.
Missed opportunity. We'll never be able to do that again.
Yeah, well, I look forward to our 100th episode. If we continue that trend, we're going to have to really cram those in.
I'm just going to have anxiety until then now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Adamantly Analog is Corey Murphy and Harrison Dunn. Original themes and bumper music by Corey Murphy. Reach us at adamantlyanalog@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.